New data just shattered one of the most pervasive feminist myths. Men are more open-minded than the women who claim to teach tolerance. In fact, men are more tolerant of their political enemies than women are of their political allies. The Fire 2026 College Free Speech Rankings reveal that across nearly every ideology, men scored higher in tolerance for both left and right-wing speakers. Women, by contrast, clustered near the bottom left of the chart, less tolerant overall, and particularly hostile towards right-leaning speech. The data exposes a paradox at the core of our cultural moment. The very people who preach inclusivity are the least willing to tolerate difference. Sociologically, this may be the natural outcome of what Helen Andrews calls the Great Feminization, the demographic and psychological transformation of our institutions as women and feminized men come to dominate them. As workplaces, universities, and media organizations have become majority female, the values once confined to family life, care, protection, and harmony, have become the guiding ethos of public life. What was once the nurturing instinct of the home has become the governing principle of the state. Institutions now operate like moral daycares, treating citizens not as autonomous adults, but as infants in need of emotional safety. Speech that causes discomfort is redefined as harm, disagreement becomes violence, and those who challenge the narrative are cast as predators. Evolutionary psychology helps explain why. For most of human history, women's survival depended on protecting the vulnerable and maintaining social cohesion. That instinct still shapes moral reasoning today. Psychologists call it moral triage, the subconscious sorting of society into infants, or the oppressed, caregivers, the moral class, and predators, the dissenters. Once this lens takes hold, persuasion is replaced by protection and argument by ostracism. The irony, of course, is staggering. Men, long caricatured as aggressive, intolerant, and oppressive, are by the numbers more tolerant of opposing views than women. The tolerance movement, born of empathy, has become a kind of sentimental authoritarianism, a regime of enforced care that smothers the very freedoms it claims to defend. The Fire data confirms what Andrews describes on a civilizational scale. When feminine norms rule, truth gives way to emotional safety, debate gives way to consensus, and tolerance becomes a tool of control. The tragedy is not that women entered public life, it's that public life adopted the psychology of the nursery.